Okay, Cable, we're ready. Okay, I want to open this meeting, Board of Selectmen meeting. It's a regular meeting on Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. The meeting's being shown live on Channel 9 right now. It'll be recorded and shown several times throughout the course of the week. Okay, first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, there you are. I want to say one thing before we start. I just want to make a couple comments about, we had a special town meeting last week, and it was not very well attended. And the process, we have a town meeting type of government, and I commend the people, the 105 people that were there, and the decisions that they made, because that's the system we use. But as I've said many times, this is our town, and we can make it what we want it to be. But people need to participate. Because what bothers me, the outcome of any of the votes doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is that 105 people made a decision for 5,000 other registered voters that didn't come out. So we are going to try to address this problem, because town government like ours doesn't work unless people participate. And we have, and also believe that it's usually the same group of people that participate. So I guess if you don't really have any concern about the decisions that are being made, then, you make that personal choice yourself. But I just wish we could get people out, and we're open to suggestions. If there's something you think we can do differently to entice people to come out and participate, we should like to hear from you. And the other thing I want to say about participation, it doesn't, that meeting last week was long because we had frankly too many articles on the warrant, but usually they don't run that long. And if you want to participate in a committee or anything else, it doesn't take a lot of time necessarily. If we get enough people working together on it, it really doesn't take a lot of time, or it can take as much time or as little time as you have. So I just hope people will think about that, and we're going to come up with some different ideas, and if you have any ideas, please share them with us so we can move forward. Okay? Thank you. Okay, the first order of business is the hearing for the Class 1 license for Truck and Iron Traders, LLC. Mr. Spellman? Mm-hmm. You want to stand at the podium?
My name's Larry Spellman. Grew up in Dayton originally, and funny that I find myself back here, but I've asked the board for a Class 1 license. I purchased a property at 1892 County Street a few months ago, and I own North Country Auctions, which is an auction company where we sell heavy equipment, construction-related equipment, materials, that type of stuff. And the board saw it pertinent that I should apply for a license, and I need a license there to operate. We do have a New Hampshire dealer's license that we've utilized along the way, but here I am, and I guess I'm open to questions if there are any, but I guess, the license is pertinent to what I'm doing down there for business.
And we've notified all the abutters, so I assume some of you are abutters. And if you have questions for Mr. Spellman, or for us, or concerns, why don't you stand up, give us your name and address.
Tom Anderson, 1841 Elm, right behind you. So, like I said, I'm new to town, but I noticed all the equipment out there, which I was fine with. And I saw the letter came in the mail, and I didn't know what a Class 1 license was, so I looked it up and I immediately think car dealership. So that's just my concern. I'm not sure what's going on, and I'm just here to kind of figure it out and find out what they're doing.
So I think in discussing things with the building commissioner and also the selectmen, that the Class 1 would cover pretty much everything that I need in my business. So I own an auction company. We're based out of New Hampshire, so this is a satellite location for us. We sell trucks, equipment, anything you can think of related to construction is what I would sell. So along those lines, you need a dealer's license to operate and sell those items. So some of the stuff we would own via my company, and then other stuff would be consigned from consigners. So this license is a tool that we would need to have in place to, as we sell those items at auction, pass the ownership through to the new owners.
In other words, what you need a license for is for the equipment you presently have. You're not bringing in new trucks as a dealer to sell trucks.
No,
You're just, you want to buy a truck that's there, or you want ownership of it, that's what you're going to do.
I guess to be clear, we do have a relationship with a couple of trailer dealers that are new trailer dealers. It's not our core business. We have a relationship with Etnire, that's a trailer company, and Felling, which is another trailer company, but it's not my desire or mission to become a new trailer dealer or a new tractor truck trailer dealer or anything like that. It's to run and operate an auction company, and certainly I think a license would be needed to do that.
The other thing I would ask you is, it's happened in the past, we haven't done it yet, but on my side of the boundary line with the fence, we have a number of trucks. At one time, Mr. Payne, his men would start those trucks up in the morning and let them run. They bypassed the 10-minute cutoff. And that diesel fuel was bad. The thing I'd ask you, I hope you wouldn't do that, that maybe you gotta start a truck to warm up one or two at a time, and please, don't rev them. This last week, there was somebody out there with revving in the truck, I guess he thought it was a cheap out people. I don't know who it is, but, fine, you can run the truck. That's not really a problem, engine running. The problem is in the morning, if you get really morning, the backup alarms. That's what drives everybody crazy, But I just would ask, please don't, I hope you're not gonna stop 6 or 7 trucks at one time just for warm engines and not use the fumes.
So what time do you traditionally?
Well, traditionally, we have people showing up at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Only during auction days?
No, pretty much during the course of business, we're there at 7 a.m. But the business ramps up around an auction. So for instance, we have an auction this Saturday, and it's been quite busy there. Our intention is to have, or my intention is to have probably 5 or 6 auctions a year, and it may even scale down from that.
I gotta admit, the first auction they held, for runners, it went like clockwork. The auction was great, the people were good, there was no hoopy, working trucks or nothing, everything was, our runners was fine. And I bought it completely right on the line, and I have no complaints at all with it.
But you just state your name so people know who's talking.
Oh, okay.
We know who you are, right?
Jeff Alley from 1928 County Street. We're right behind.
So the thing with, and I see this auction a lot bigger, but I don't, and I'm sure, I hope it'll go up the same way the first one went.
I think the thing about me and us, I take pride in being neighborly. So, if there's an issue, please come over and just let me know what the issue is, and we'll try to resolve it.
How that thing's done.
See how what?
I'd like to see how that auction plays out.
So if he doesn't start any of that till 7 o'clock in the morning, is that?
Reasonable.
That's fine, that's the town ordinance, in fact, this is 7 in the morning. The only thing out is the number of trucks that they may start to warm up, the
At one
engine.
time.
I think too, in the area that we're talking about, behind their house or their property, we don't really utilize that area per se for any of our big trucks. Most of that stuff is out behind the restaurant or behind the gas station and that facility.
You
in
do
that
have big
area.
trucks there now.
Yep.
But the
Yep.
thing is, fine, that's okay. I wouldn't want to see them all started at the same
Right.
time and run.
Right.
You're gonna
Larry, where is County Street and where is the alley house on this map, this plan?
See, do we have the full plan?
Yes, we do.
All right, this was, I get a better plan.
Okay.
The color one, right? Lay it out so everybody can see it if they want, would like to.
Okay, so,
Upside down here. Good.
And then alleys are right here.
Okay,
Here's the building.
Okay.
This is the fenced area, right here,
okay.
around the building. And then, you know, when we're conducting a sale as we have this weekend, you know, we're out with the product, the big trucks and equipment. And then we have an issue with, you know, here, I guess, for our customers from parking. And then there's a soccer field.
You want to show us where the area is that was a problem with the truck starting up? On here.
By the fence.
Okay, here's your house over here.
My house over here.
Yeah, so where
Right
was?
there.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
fence here.
Yep,
This is the parking, and Mr. Pable used to have a
okay.
truck. So they line these trucks up. You stocked up 5 or 6 diesel trucks.
Yeah.
And the wind's in the right direction, I
Oh, yeah. This is that big building that's out there?
Yep,
Yeah.
blue building.
Okay.
So do you plan on using that area?
Not for big stuff, in all honesty, I don't have any,
Okay.
I mean, the trucks we have back there, we've run through the shop and
Yeah, sure.
cleaned or detailed or serviced, but to sell out there, I don't have any intentions of selling anything large out there. It's all,
Is the soccer field still here?
yeah,
Yes.
And is it being used as a
Yes.
soccer field?
yeah.
Yes.
Soccer field.
I think the Bristol Aggie schools goes.
Yeah, the town, the Bristol Aggie.
Saturday or-
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
The town has nothing to do with just.
No, that's private.
No, he owns it, but he's letting, but he's,
He just stated the town uses the soccer field. The town recreation department does not use that field. That's from a private organization, who has nothing to do with the town, right? That's what that said.
But it is an active field for
Everybody
soccer.
knows that?
I was unaware of that, I thought it was the,
No.
okay.
No.
the things
Mr.
that,
Pable put that in years ago.
Yep.
And that's what that's.
Now, when you have your auction, are you going to be, like the last time, you had it right behind that area there, behind our house?
Yep.
Would you still have that? I know they were there for a short time. and
Yep.
They moved over.
We
to
we
the
probably
other.
will utilize that space for small items, we call them smalls, but
Yeah.
it's things that might be stolen, so they're in the fenced-in area and we can guard them. But we would utilize that for smalls. But we don't focus on small items, we'd only take them if we would take in a group of, you know,
Because the
larger
last time
items,
you had the
yeah.
auction, it was there.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised, but it didn't last that long. It was
It's only a
very
few
short
hours,
time.
yeah, 2 or 3
Yes,
hours.
Yes, and I have to say, you cleaned up the property, and we're very pleased that.
Good.
It does look neat, it looks clean, the trucks are organized, or whatever equipment you have there, so it is a big improvement, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
and again, I want to say thank you for letting the various
Groups,
sports teams use the soccer field. We appreciate
Welcome.
that very much.
welcome.
Mr. Anderson, you want to look at this and tell us where your property is? This is Elm Street up here.
You know. A few years back, when Mr. Pable, they were doing it 4:30, I don't want to be back at the truck. And to be back up, they were right here. Even people know, you can hear that.
Right.
You know, you go, I come.
It says Cheryl Ventura.
That's
Did you
all.
recently buy this property?
Yes. Any damaged trucks
Okay,
lined up.
okay, so that's you. Okay.
So you have this wetland, which is between you and,
If there's any issues, you can just
My question is,
come right next to me.
is that untouchable? Is that something
yes.
that
Wetlands is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
conserved.
Yeah, let's get that. Can we,
So I appreciate you talking to him.
Can we-
about Clear Hills.
can we have one thing at a time, because he has some questions.
just, like, right behind me, there's, I don't know, I want to guess,
He says he's right here.
300 feet of trees, and then there's a pond and whatnot. All that stays.
That'd be conserved.
That's wetland which you can't generally touch.
Right.
And so Conservation Commission, if there was anything going on there.
And you
they'd
can't
be
even
all
come
over it.
within so many feet of it, never
Right.
mind get on it.
100 feet,
You have to stay away from it.
Because that's lower too.
yeah, yeah.
Nope.
So I think you got a nice buffer between his operation and,
Yeah, I mean, I saw the letter, and then I
Yeah,
just
sure.
figured it's bought dealership.
Are there any other abutters here that want to speak?
or a question?
Yes, those.
Why don't you stand up and give us your name and address?
Matt Braga, I'm at 1827 Somerset Avenue. I'm right where Somerset Ave merges with 138, so I'm right across the street.
Oh, okay.
Those bright lights. Are you gonna use those all the time or just before the buildup of an auction?
We would put them on a couple nights ago. My intent would be probably just 2 or 3 nights before the auction, just for security and,
Yeah, if it's just before the buildup of the auction, then I'll have a problem.
okay.
That's
That-
all.
that's-
My only question was like, so I'm right across the street, there are no trees or anything between my property and yours, it's just,
Okay.
my house is lit at night.
It lights up the sky.
Mr. Braga, we do have regulations in town that relate to lighting at night, and the building commissioner can certainly, if you have concerns, can certainly talk to you and Mr. Spellman about how they can be aimed or not aimed, if, you know, if light becomes a
Like I
problem.
said, if it's only for a few minutes before an auction, then I don't have a problem. If it was gonna be all the time, I don't know
Well,
how.
even if it's security lighting and it's on at night, they have to
Yes.
meet the town's requirements. So
Yes.
Mr. Aguirre can give you advice on that, okay, if there's,
Okay.
if it's concern.
Don't you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Mr. Spellman, again, thank you for coming tonight. With the lights, what are the hours that you operate those lights in the couple days before
We've
the
been
auction?
putting them on at roughly 7, and first thing, you know, sun up, we shut them off.
Mhm. And what, I'm sorry, what time do they go off?
Sun up, sunrise.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Anybody else that's in a butter? Anyone interested in looking at the map? Have any questions? Because we got
Maps
the
are fun.
plan here while it's,
I was gonna ask about the lighting.
Okay. Anything particular?
No, just concerned that I'm on Elm Street.
I don't really like the lights in all honesty, but the night before the last auction, we had somebody break in there and they stole 40 truck batteries, and it was kind of a tough situation. So we will have security there the week before the auction, which we do tonight. And the lights are really just a deterrent to try to keep some criminal activity away from us, I guess.
So lights would go on at dusk?
Yeah, I mean, typically we're there, like tonight, we had somebody there till about 7, so, you know, we put them on when we leave, and security shows up, and it's typically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, before the auction on a Saturday.
Mr. Spellman, do the lights point in a certain direction? I can't see it in my mind.
We don't even have that in any particular location right now, because they've only been on for a couple of days. So,
Do they point to the ground?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
They're just light towers with you know, four bulb setup.
it's
Diesel
possible
powered.
to have security lighting that will meet the town's requirements. Maybe Mr. Aguirre could check it out at night, just to see. We did have another situation in town, and in that particular case, they had really too many lights. Some were shut off, but others were redirected to provide the security lighting, but not bother the neighbors, so.
The good thing about these towers is they can point them in multiple directions and
Yeah.
probably help out with the neighbors and.
I think,
I don't know about that.
Mr. Aguirre?
So I have a few comments. First, I want to say hello to everybody at home. Mr. Spellman has made quite an investment in town, and he has come to us asking for permission instead of forgiveness anytime he's done anything. So he is following the rules. A couple quick points just to answer some questions. I know what your concerns are. In discussions with Mr. Spellman, he does have access to new equipment, new trailers, things that a Class 1 license would be required to have. So we as a town didn't want to stymie him with his business and not give him the licenses he needed in order to have a flourishing business, especially with that investment. The other thing is the spotlight bylaw is fairly specific. The first time I saw the lights was today when I did my inspection, which I'll comment on in a minute. But I think the neighbors are pretty accommodating. I think we can work together to be in conformance with the bylaw and make sure the neighbors' concerns are adhered to. I know that you had quite a bit of vandalism and stolen property there, so I think the lights are prudent, especially when you have so much equipment there throughout the days. But I think we can work through that.
So let's just say, you know, you go out there, you check, let's say the lights are too bright. Is it possible to just replace them with, if that were the case, to replace them with?
First time I saw the light towers was today, so I think if we just relocate the light towers, we can still give you the lighting you need and keep it away from the homes.
Those lights can be turned, they're not a power generator unit.
This can be done fairly easily.
So we already have a bylaw in place about that, so I don't think we need to speculate what has to be done until we see what, if
No,
there's
we
a
don't.
problem.
I can handle that through the general bylaws.
Yep.
Specifically regarding the application, though, the building and fire departments are required to do an inspection. We did that today. And quite frankly, I mean, you've got that much equipment in one place. I was actually impressed with the organization. I understand you have a police detail for this auction, which will help us on the traffic flow. He had bathroom facilities in the right locations. The aisles were wide enough to get apparatus through if there was ever an emergency. So quite frankly, I was impressed with what I saw today. So the fire chief said I can speak on his behalf. Neither of us have any issues with what we saw, so we're not.
Is there any requirement in our bylaw that states what kind of police details need to be on?
No, it does not. That would have to be on a per-case basis.
Yeah.
So as I understand it, I believe Mr. Spellman has reached out to the police department, and they've agreed to one detail. And the fire department has said that no details required, at least at this juncture. So anything that's been done, did get a permit to do some work in the offices, which I inspected today. There is a Knox box that's being located probably as we speak, or was done today. So, yeah, actually, he's in compliance, and there's nothing that would prohibit the issuance of the license.
But we could put a stipulation in here that, correct me if I'm wrong, that it required police detail during any auction on County Street?
You can. The only thing I would be careful, I'm sure you don't anticipate a smaller auction than you have right now.
No.
So if he did have a small auction for smalls, which is actually the term,
Yeah, right.
then, we really can't require a police detail for that.
No,
But if
right.
he has auctions of this magnitude, then one detail would be prudent.
I think if you go down there and take a look, not only is a lot of equipment, but it's neatly
Oh, yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
with that. And I'm very pleased, living in the neighborhood, the way it looks, it's very professional, and demeanor, everybody's professional, so it's,
I agree, it looks,
we're one good job.
Thank you.
we welcome the business to
Thank you,
town.
Mr. Commissioner.
Two questions.
It's a business problem.
Timothy Rice, I'm not in the butter, 316 Main Street. Is there a backup for hazmat, just in case you have a hydraulic hose that blows down there? And my other question is, how close is it to the wetlands buffer zone? Because the second Kinship River runs right through there.
Right, yeah.
Do you want to look at this?
He's well
I
worth
know the
it.
area very well.
It's 100.
Charlie Mello has been an integral part of this. I know he's visited the site. None of the equipment is back in the wetlands buffer zone. He stayed outside the 200 foot requirement of the buffer zone, so there hasn't been any encroachment, and Mr. Mello has been involved in the process. As far as hazmat's concerned, he's required to have certain hazmat scope response, but so is our fire department. We're well equipped with that as well.
Well, he would be first on scene because he's in the product, so you think that you would be required
He
first
would
to have that?
be, he would
So,
be,
just
but
a-
he's only required to contain, that's all.
Exactly.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to speak to the hazmat, I don't have anything I would say. We have some absorbent towels and rags and stuff like that, but we've never had a situation where, I don't know that we've, in the history of the business, I would think a gallon of motor oil or hydraulic
First of
oil.
all, to walk where you're not trained in hazmat, you would set up a fence box. The fire department will come in with a technician, take it, and they notify the state, and the state comes down with it, and they take over. Your job is to keep it away from the cell, away from the equipment, and only monitor until sometimes the proper people, that's.
Thank you, Chief.
Unless he's also trained. If he is also
He's not trained,
He's not
he goes in the fence box, and I don't think he's had that trained.
No.
So I think the bottom line is though, the building commission, the fire department, police department have all been working with you to make sure we got all this covered. So I feel comfortable with that.
that is correct.
Right.
You know, you send the police in first, and you see the guy on the
Yeah,
ground, don't know. You should know that. That's a fire chief call.
What was your name again, sir?
Yeah, right.
Actually, I'm truthful with you, there's only the 3 personnel in this town certified hazmat technicians. And that was Ray Costa, myself, and Chucky Richardson. And that is a long, drawn-out class. what's, shoots and the whole
Right.
night. So the best thing you can do if you have a major spill is to get people away from the spill completely, notify the
Fire department.
proper authority, get them down, have the police come in, block it off, and let everybody else take. The fire department notifies the state, which the truck is right out of Eastern Mass, down it comes. $multi-million piece of equipment.
Thank you, Chief.
And
Okay.
most of the time, this equipment's hydraulic hoses,
Yeah, right.
you know.
Like you
You're
said,
right.
a gallon,
Yeah.
a gallon here or there, maybe. Okay.
Good point, though.
Anybody else have any comments, concerns?
Coffee and donuts tomorrow for sure.
If none, does the board have any more questions?
I don't have any questions. Does the public have anything else?
Well,
Or
so I'm
butters?
we've already asked. Yeah. No. Okay. If we feel like all our answers are been answered, I guess we need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve to grant a Class 1 license for Truck and Iron Traders LLC.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations,
All
Mr.
right, thank you guys so much, I appreciate it.
Well,
If there's any issues that come up to the audience or to the abutters, please feel free to come by and we'll address them.
and likewise, if you feel you need to talk to someone up here, come on up
We're
and
here.
talk to us and we'll listen and we'll.
Talk to Mr. Agia.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good luck with your business.
Before Mr. Spellman goes, I just wanted to say, I really appreciated how you addressed the abutters and, made yourself available if they have any questions. I think that goes a long way, so I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great night.
You too.
Okay. Everybody's gonna leave.
Oh, no public.
Now's public input. If anybody else wants to talk about anything else,
Does anyone have anything general that they'd like to discuss? Mr. Rhines. Thank you, Mr. Braga.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Have a good night, Mr. Higgins. Oh, Mr. Higgins is
He's staying. Yes, Mr. Rhines?
Good evening, Timothy F. Ryan's 316 Main Street in Dayton. I would just like to take this,
Jim, could you guys?
I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Commission to thank Arujo Farms, specifically the Leonard family, for their participation in last Saturday's event. There was the pumpkin painting party at the pavilion. We had approximately 275 to 300 children show up, and we received just about 1 pound for every child that was there in food donations for the community food bank. So again, I'd like to thank our liaison, Heidi Swiss, for ordering all the things that the kids use, including the paint, the bags, and candy and so on. So again, big kudos to the Recreation Department and of course to the residents in town who were there and participated. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
May I just make a remark about that, Mr. Chairman? I was there as well, as you know, Mr. Rhines. My thought as I was there was just how those kinds of events really are the blood and guts of Dayton. It was very nice. I appreciated spending time with you guys, and the way that you and Heidi and other people as well volunteer their time. We appreciate it very much, and I'm sure the kids and the parents do as well.
I'd like to two people. Nick Sisson, who works for the Highway Department, who drove the tractor, and of course, I'd like to thank Mr. Robert Adams from Elm Street for his use of this trail for the event.
So maybe we should have a town meeting when we have these events. Get that many people to come?
Well, he said 275 kids. He didn't
Well, they
mention
gotta have
adults.
parents though. Only kidding.
Did Brett paint a pumpkin?
No,
No, he didn't.
I didn't want to steal one.
Good point, too, but he didn't.
Okay, anything else? Okay, old business, initial revision of the signed clerical contract. And what this is about, we
Thank you.
negotiated the contract with the clerical union, we signed the contract, and then subsequent to that, we realized that there was an omission, and it was the omission of the 3% longevity increase for each 5 years of 5-year increment to be incorporated into wage table, which replaced the current longevity pay table. So that's what it's about, and so I guess we need a motion to amend it. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we insert the longevity clause that was inadvertently left out of the clerical union collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I just have one question for either you or Selectman Goulart. Now, since we already approved that contract at a public meeting, we don't have to approve it again?
No,
No,
only the
no, no.
amendment.
This is
Because
just,
this isn't even a new negotiation. It was an
this
omission.
it was an omission. It
Yeah.
wasn't, yeah.
All right, thank
So,
you.
and the union is aware of it, so they're good with it. Okay. Lions Club tent fee waiver for the upcoming art festival.
This was a verbal request
Okay.
that came in today for the waiver,
How much is the fee usually?
75.
Okay. So what the Dayton Lions Club is sponsoring an art festival this coming weekend on Sunday, November 5th. And Lions is a nonprofit, provides a tremendous amount of resources to the community in the way of things like the pavilion and other grants that we make, and also tremendous amount of support to Mass Lions Eye Research. So in the past, we have considered and waived fees for nonprofits, so.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we waive the tent fee for the Lions Club Arts Festival this weekend.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we got a road opening permit for the Dayton Water District at 974
Thank
Williams
you.
Street.
Here you are. Okay. Dated November 1st, 2017, it says, "Permission is hereby granted for a road cut at the following location with all necessary appurtenances. 974 Williams Street, install new water service. Whenever possible, pipes are to be jetted under the roadway. Any unsuitable material will be replaced with gravel and 2 layers of 2-inch compacted asphalt for a total of 4 inches of asphalt. All gravel to be compacted in 12-inch layers. The road is to be placed back in the same or better condition as when the project was started. Highway superintendent must be notified within 72 hours of work." Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the road opening permit for Dayton Water District at 974 Williams Street.
Second.
Okay, motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Great, thank you. We have a letter of resignation.
Thank you.
This letter is addressed to the Board of Selectmen and the Dayton Historical Commission. Dear Town Selectmen, Mrs. Nancy Goulart, Mr. Brett Zagrafis, Mr. Jack Taylor, and Historical Commission Chairman and Co-Chair, Mr. Jim Diarruda, Mrs. Myrna Santos, and members. Due to my personal obligations that require more of my time, I am respectfully submitting my letter of resignation from my role as appointed member of the Dayton Historical Commission. This will be effective as of October 31st, 2017. It was an honor to serve Dayton in this capacity. Over the past few years, I have had opportunities to be involved in fascinating preservation aspects of the town's history. I am grateful for all of this and the team efforts of the dedicated commission members. Your leadership, guidance, time, and assistance as town administrators continues to be appreciated. Thank you, Carol Bedard. With a copy to the town clerk. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the resignation of Carol Bedard from the Historical Commission with thanks and appreciation for her service.
Second.
I just want to say also, thank you, Ms. Bedard, for the contribution you've made to the town, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
A recommendation from the Building Commissioner to award bids for the Old Town Hall.
Thank you. Chairman, Selectman Goulart.
Hello again.
Hello.
So I have before you tonight 2 bids. I wish I had more, but I wanted to take a minute to explain to everyone how frustrating this project has been. I know that I made a promise almost a year ago to get this done in several months, and the bidding environment has been very tumultuous, to say the least. It has been almost impossible to get people to do work. There's so much work out there that contractors are picking and choosing what they want, what they will do, and what they will even look at. So we've gotten creative over the past several months to try and, fill disciplines. Like we have a town electrician, we now have a town plumber, and we're working towards a town HVAC contractor. None of those cost the townspeople any money. There's no retainers involved, but they are under contract, so all we do is pick up the phone and call them, and it's worked very well with the electrical. The plumber has been working over there now for about 10 to 14 days, and he's doing a great job. But I must tell you, trying to get people to bid on any work has been very, very difficult. So I'm working as diligently as I can. The project is coming out excellent, and I know everybody here will be proud once they see it. It's just taken longer than we thought. So with that said, I have two. One is the front entrance bid request. I called a total of 6 contractors, only 3 responded. The bid is specifically for the labor to install the roof structure and all of the appurtenances associated with the front entrance. The highway department has taken it as far as they can. I now need someone who has a license to do the rest of it. It's an old building, so it takes someone with a knowledge of how to install that roof system. So I sought licensed contractors. We had 2 responses. One of them came to look at the job and said it was too small, he wasn't interested. Both contractors, all of them, were known to me, and I'm familiar with their work. Pavo Builders from Swansea, Mass. is $6,600, and G. Logan and Sons from Dayton, Mass. was $6,750. And I'll read verbatim from the bottom. Selectmen, please look favorably upon approving G. Logan and Sons bid to install a front porch roof system and related entrance area improvements. G. Logan's was not the low bidder, but is the only contractor willing to complete the work before the winter holiday season. This work needs to be completed before the winter in order to continue with the upstairs interior renovations during the off-season months. So in order to do this work, there's some structural changes that need to happen in the foyer area. And if that work isn't done, we're not going to be able to work. You have all the documents in front of you?
I'm sorry,
we do.
I'm sorry, Mr. Commissioner.
Sorry.
Okay, this is for the entrance.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about
All
right
right.
now. You got it.
So, logistically, we have all agreed that we're gonna work downstairs first
It's different.
and get the
Excuse me, I don't have the one you're talking about. This is
Yeah.
Granite City.
Here you go.
Here you are.
Brett's got 2, I'm sure.
I'm hoarding them over here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, Jen.
No, it's okay. I want everyone to be on the same page.
Yes.
Nice, huh?
So logistically, just so you understand, I know that the focus has been on downstairs to get the offices relocated. But I also want to keep some work for the highway department over the winter months when they can actually give me more time than they are now. In order to do that, this roof system needs to be put in because there's some structural modifications that need to be done to the interior upstairs. Getting that done will allow us to finish off the interior. So that's why getting it done in a timely manner is important. It's only $150 difference. I thought that you would be, look upon it favorably, so.
Yeah, I mean, if the requirement is that we need to get it done before the weather changes, I think that that's a
Yeah. And
legitimate.
Mr. Pavo, I called him and
He's okay
told
with
him he
that?
was a low bidder, and he said, I'm fine, I can't get in there, I can't touch it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
he did not have any
Okay.
problem with that.
So even though he was the low bidder, G. Logan and Sons will be getting the work
Yes,
done faster.
that is correct. And Mr. Pavo and I both had the discussion, and he has no
He's okay.
hard
with it?
feelings.
Okay.
He will pick up the phone the next time Dayton calls, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So, motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the bid to install the, what do you call it?
It's with a front entrance roofing system.
To install the front entrance roofing to the Old Town Hall be awarded to G. Logan and Son of Dayton, Mass. At a bid price of $6,750.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay.
I signed this one, but I think that's the one, the right one, if not, I'll sign it. Okay,
Hey, now, the next one is quite interesting. I'll give you a little background on this. We have a town electrician, as you're aware, but I did reserve the right with this project to bid out materials, especially big-ticket materials. So we want to do LED lighting in this building, and the estimated cost for the lighting was $100 per fixture, and we needed 60 total. So I made myself familiar with some grants that were available, and I called 3 supply houses. All the supply houses told me that the maximum allowable fixture count to qualify for the grant was 25. So we wouldn't qualify for the grant. When I got Granite City on the phone, they were the only one who was willing to talk to me about perhaps submitting the grant application, even though we exceeded the 25 count. I encouraged her to do so. She did, and we were approved. So instead of $100 a fixture, we're going to pay, and this is an instant rebate, we're going to pay $45 a fixture.
Wow.
So it's not like we pay the full amount and they get the money back, we actually pay the lower amount. So, again, I did contact 3 individuals, they were the only one willing to push, help get the grant paperwork through.
okay.
So the total fixtures for the project, 60, would be $2,700.
Mr. Commissioner?
Yes.
So, just to, so I understand, now we replaced the bulbs in this building.
Correct.
So that means that that building will now be energy efficient as well?
Every single
Fantastic.
fixture, yes.
Fantastic, good
Yes.
work.
Does this include bulbs also, or just fixtures?
This is fixture and bulbs,
Cool.
yes.
Okay.
And just so you're aware, I also bought all of the exterior lighting, LED as well.
Great.
And when we do the parking lot lighting, which probably won't be until later, we're gonna try to do the same.
Fantastic, Mr. Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the bid to provide lighting fixtures, including bulbs, be awarded to Granite City Electric, Taunton, Mass., at a total cost of $2,700 as recommended.
Second.
Okay, the only thing I want to add, I see at the bottom it says, "The price is affirmed for 24 hours, subject to change without notice after
Yeah.
24 hours." So I would like to add to that, or maybe amend it, whatever the proper way to do it, just to say that 2,700 is our price, and
Yeah,
we won't change it.
I verified that through the
Okay.
salesperson. She's holding the price for us. I told her I couldn't get it in front of you last week, it would be this week, and she was fine.
Okay, that's good.
Perfect. Good work, Mr. Commissioner.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This one needs to be signed. I will leave it like this. Well, there's nothing to sign. I'm just gonna put it back.
Karen, we have another, you have that other thing for the police station, is that?
We did that last week.
No, it was, what? No, there was something else that just came in that from,
I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
McDonald.
We put it directly on your desk. It's in an envelope. I didn't want to open it.
Do you want to take a moment?
yeah, why don't we take a moment, let me just find that, 'cause we can, need to get that approved.
Jack, you want us to read the announcements while you're looking?
you do that, it's a great idea.
Okay, I'll start, Brett. Trash bags, shops, disposal containers, and recycling stickers are all for sale at the Board of Selectmen's office. Call 508-669-6431 for more information. There are vacancies on the Historical Commission, Land Use Committee, and Capital Outlay Committee. Also, the Community Preservation Committee has an opening for a Historical Commission representative and a possible opening for an at-large member.
Selectman Goulart, I just want to add, I think it got deleted out from the announcements. There are also availabilities on the Cultural Council and the yet-formed School Building Study Committee as well. Thank
Oh,
you.
yes, the School Building Needs Committee, yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyone interested in any of those positions, please contact the Selectmen's office. There will be a household hazardous waste collection day on Saturday, November 4th, 2017, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Dayton Transfer Station, 865 Tremont Street. For more information, see the flyer located on the town website under Board of Health, or call 508-669-6431, option 1. As Mr. Zagrafis said last week, certain items do have a cost, just regular household chemicals and things like that. There isn't a cost, but things like propane tanks will have costs, so you need to be prepared for that. The 13th Annual Dayton Lions Arts Festival will be held on November 5th at Arujo Farms from 10 to 4. There will be arts and crafts, music, food, and activities. Shuttle service from Mannheim Auto Auction will be provided, sponsored by the Dayton Lions Club.
There will be a free Veterans Breakfast on November 11th, 2017 at 9 a.m. It will be held at Father's House Family Church, 207 Main Street, Dayton, Mass. If you need a ride or to RSVP, please contact Veterans Agent Donald Hershey at 508-669-4524. There will be a dedication ceremony for the Frank G. Costa Memorial Park held on November 11th, 2017 at 11:30 a.m. at the park. And just so you know, it is the park on the left-hand side if you're going over the bridge from Dayton heading into Berkeley. The next Dayton Lions Food Bank distribution will be held on November 18th in the lower level of Town Hall from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And lastly, the Lights On ceremony will be held on Saturday, November 25th, 2017. Volunteers and donations are still needed. Please contact Town Clerk Sue Medeiros at 508-669-6431, option 3, if you are interested.
And I have one other request. In the past, we've talked about the Sojourn Bear project. If anyone is cleaning out and finds good thread, spools of thread, cotton or cotton polyester blend, and you're gonna throw it away or you don't know what to do with it, if you would drop that off at Lincoln Village, because when the bears are made, there is a slit left in the back, so that after the bear is stuffed, those have to be hand sewn. And I noticed that we were running out of various colors of thread. So if you have any thread of any color that you want to get rid of, just drop it off at Lincoln Avenue for the project, please.
If I may, one comment. Green Preservation Committee has filled the opening for the Historical Commission representative. And you know something that I know, there's a possible opening for the at-large member, maybe available, because we're full, we have all.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We just
We
have to
can
close
just
it.
strike that.
So
for
just
next week.
remove community CPC from this.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next order of business, first of all, I apologize, Karen has it under control, and
As always.
I should know that, but I didn't, so, anyway.
Thank you.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, you have little faith.
No, are you kidding me? I have 100% faith in her.
It's him he doubts.
Yeah, exactly, so anyway. Okay, set date for a public hearing for Verizon and National Grid.
Thank you.
Okay, this is a petition of National Grid and Verizon covering the joint grid Verizon pole locations. So they are proposing to put, National Grid requesting installing 3 poles for the purpose of reconductoring Cedar Street. So I guess that is,
Oh, that was that big study that was on my desk
right.
that they submitted.
Well, what I can tell you for sure is that I never get any cell phone service on Cedar Street, so this pole
ain't
is
gonna
probably
help.
more.
It's not gonna help.
Well, it's not a
But
tower,
this
you're
It's
right.
gonna help you.
And also, that's, okay, there's one on Cedar Street. There's another part of this project is William Street. The number of poles which may be erected thereon under this order, I think it looks like there's 3 poles on, 3 poles on William Street. And I think that is it. So there'll be we need to set up a public hearing for this, and did you have a recommendation?
Proposed on November 29th, just to allow us to notify the butters
Yeah.
and give 2 weeks notice and we'll be
Okay.
Is that a Wednesday?
it is.
Okay. Did they say a time or anything?
No, I think that we have to, make all those arrangements.
Okay,
Yeah.
We just
Mhm.
let them know when they.
okay, thank you.
So will be, the public hearing about these, installation of these poles will be on November 29th at our selectmen meeting, 7:30.
Mhm.
So we just need a motion to do so.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Approval of contract for the transfer of funds from the Mass Cultural Council to the local cultural council. There's a letter from the Mass Cultural Council to the Board of Selectmen. Encloses the contract and scope of service for the town of Dayton that covers the transfer of FY 2018 local cultural council funds from the Mass Cultural Council to your local cultural council account for the Dayton Cultural Council. A lot of cultural councils in there. State regulation, state controller regulations requires state agency to have signed contract and signature authorization form on file for all transfers of funds from state to local accounts, unless the agency is statutorily released from its mandate, which the Mass Cultural Council is not. The contract includes a signature page with the amount of the allocation, $4,600, dates of service from July 2017 to June 30th, 2018. All we need to do is sign it. And that's all the pertinent information. So we're going to just transfer $4,600 from the state to our local council.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the contract to transfer funds from Mass Cultural Council to the local cultural council.
Second.
Say that 3 times fast. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Isn't that about double what the town usually gets? Usually in the past, it's been $1,800, $2,000.
That's a nice amount,
Quite a bit.
yes.
Seems like a lot.
Mhm.
Okay. Think we're done. We have 3 things, increase in hours, and let me explain this. At the special town meeting last week, the funds were approved to increase the hours of the Board of Health office manager, the assessors clerk, and the planning board office manager. So the funds were appropriated last week, and now we just need to approve the hours and move forward.
Can these be done as one motion?
No, probably separately.
I do have one question though, and I'm not questioning the votes that were taken at town meeting or the votes we took before, but my question is, if the Board of Health office manager hours are increased, would the person who's filling that role right now also be doing zoning board?
No, the positions are being separated. One will be office manager for health, which will be 30 hours, and the zoning board will remain what it is at 20 hours.
At the department head meeting today, Mr. Pius said he would be posting the 30-hour Board of Health, and Mr. Pacheco said that the other position would remain at 20.
Okay. Do we yet know which position is vacant yet?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve an increase in hours for the Board of Health office manager, making a total of 30 hours per week.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I move, isn't there one missing? There's supposed to be, there was also an approval for additional hours for the town clerk.
No,
How, wasn't there?
Yes,
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
was.
at the town meeting, you're right, 10 extra hours.
Okay.
Typo is what that is.
No,
No,
the
no.
assessors
There's
clerk is
4.
correct. Yes, all right, so
We can just add
I'll
that
add that one on.
The clerk, yeah.
All right, so, let me restate the motion. Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve an increase in hours for the Board of Assessors clerk, making a total of 35 hours per week.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Aye. Mr. Chairman,
Good, yeah.
No, I was just making sure.
Oh.
She got her second.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve an increase in hours for the planning board office manager to a total of,
28? Is it
how many
28?
hours?
Which one is that?
We
It's
had
for the
three.
planning board office manager?
29, I think.
29.
To a total of 29 hours.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And, Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve an increase in hours for the town clerk.
It's actually a new position.
That's right, excuse me, I'll withdraw that motion. Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve a new 10-hour position for the town clerk's office.
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you, so we get that. Okay, building department hours. So we talked last week about the office hours for the building commissioner's office, and we had, I think we had said 7:30 to 5:30?
Yeah.
Yep.
4 10-hour days.
4 10-hour days.
Was
Which,
it,
by the way, is working out wonderful.
Great.
was it 7:30 to 5:30, right? Okay.
So we just want to modify that, because on Wednesdays, as you sit here tonight, that 10-hour day on Wednesday will be a little bit different, because you'll start later and stay later. So,
But Mr. Commissioner is not, he's not required to come here
well,
every single Wednesday. You don't want to come here every Wednesday.
I mean, really,
Well, the building is open, though, I think that's the intent, right?
It's to be there for the public.
Right.
Right.
So I think the intent is to make sure, even next door, that the building department
Somebody
is
can-
open for the
Okay.
public.
Mhm.
So I don't have a problem with that, but I would like to keep it the 10-hour day.
yep,
Absolutely.
So I will just be, I won't be here every Wednesday morning when that town hall is
That's
open.
it.
Okay.
And I think the other thing which we need to recognize here is that, this is, these have to be some flexibility here, because there's times when you're going to need to be here at different times, so
Well,
it's flexible.
but with the position as commissioner, I understand that at any time of day and not at night, I need to be available. But I like the structure of the 10-hour day. It's enabled me to, sort of, it's actually helped my health. So, it's somewhat more regimented. I'm used to get up in the morning and doing my thing,
Yeah.
and when I'm done, I go home. But 10 hours a day is working out perfectly. The taxpayers are still being serviced. But the Wednesday thing was gonna be the issue, so.
Good.
Okay.
I think we need a motion, we just need a statement of it, that's what we've done.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the hours for the building commissioner be modified so that his work of 4 10-hour days will also provide office hours on Wednesday evening. So all right, if you second it, I'll explain it.
Second.
What that means, everybody, is that the building commissioner works 4 days a week, 10 hours. On Wednesday mornings, he will be coming in a little later because he will be here to service people at night. And when the summer comes, when the selectmen go on the summer schedule, so will the building commissioner's office, just like the other offices in this building. So he will be available Wednesday nights.
Generally, probably from 10 to 8.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, but again, with
There
some
are
flex.
I'm gonna use some discretion if there's a zoning board meeting.
Do what you
Of
gotta
course.
do.
Those run later,
Absolutely.
so.
Of course. We know you have many hats.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we got an electric service proposal from National Grid. This is,
Thank you.
there's no money involved here. This is merely a the thing we have to sign. It's electric service proposal for 1458 Somerset Ave, which is the new police station. And service agreement on receipt of your acceptance, you will then be billed under separate cover in the amount of $0, including applicable taxes. This price is valid for 60 days. So
It's a hefty price.
it is a hefty price, so it's just something that has to be done because the old one has already run out. And so in order for the contractor to move forward, this needs to be,
So we still need
execute.
to make a motion and...
yes. right.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I motion that we accept the electric service proposal from National Grid as sent to us.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Sign that later. Okay. Moving right along. Anybody have a report you want to make?
I don't have a report, but I did have a good time at that pumpkin painting party, so thank you.
Nothing?
No, no.
Okay. Acknowledgements. We have an anonymous donation to Primetime for $100.
Thank you.
So this is from Sheila New, the Assistant Program Manager at Primetime. We're pleased to inform you that Primetime has received a generous donation of $100. As usual, all donations are turned over to the town accountant and deposited in the Primetime gift and donation account.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we acknowledge the anonymous donation of $100 to Primetime.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
One brief report.
We have one more donation. Can they give you the check? Okay.
Today was our regular department head meeting. We have one the first Wednesday of every month. And our special guest visitor today was Mallory Aaronstein, who is the new town administrator. She came to the meeting. All of the department heads were here and introduced themselves and gave brief summaries of what they have going on in their department. So she got her feet wet today.
And did she run away?
No.
I don't know if she's coming back, but she did come.
So the time schedule is Mallory's, we're developing a contract now, but she'll be starting December 4th when she finishes work up in West Bridgewater. And I hope you come by and say hello to her because I think you'll be very impressed with her. She's got a lot of energy and she's very smart, so couldn't ask for more.
And since Mrs. Curtis mentioned the book, we gave her a town book and she's going to be tested on it.
Oh, good. Critical thinking.
We'll see how good she is.
The other thing we received just before we started this meeting, a donation of $150 from the Dayton Police Officers Local 306. And this is a donation in Frank Torres's memory. And they told me it was for the open space. So
Frank's obituary said that donations could be made to Frank Torres / Open Space for preservation and acquisition of property.
Very nice.
very, very nice, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the donation on behalf of the Dayton Police Officers Local 306 of $150 in Mr. Frank Torres's memory.
Second.
Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Yeah, I just want to really thank the Dayton Police Officers and Local 306 for your
The only
contribution.
thing that I would say is the contributions were supposed to be mailed to a post office box, so I think they're probably collecting them all at the office, and they're gonna put everything together.
I just wrote open space on here because I know that's what the intent was.
Yeah.
That's what they told me
So-
when they had it.
So although it's made out to the town, it should not be deposited. We should probably get it to the insurance office so they can put it all together.
Correct.
Then it can be deposited into
Yeah.
the account.
Yeah, okay. And she's the one that gave it to me, but, okay. We'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Approval of minutes, we have no minutes to approve. Approval.
You have ones that
Oh, you do?
want to-
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Would you make that
Yep,
motion?
sure. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of the Wednesday, September 6th, 2017 regular meeting.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, approval of warrants.
Mr. Chairman, I move that warrant 18A-18 in the amount of $18A-18? Must be FY18, okay. Warrant 18A-18 in the amount of $81,333.10 payroll, and warrant 18B-18 in the amount of $453.56 accounts payable, both dated November 1st, be approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Do we have any other business?
Do we have any public input?
Any more public
Mr.
input?
Higgins? No? Okay.
Okay, if none,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Cable. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you, Cable.
Remember Sunday afternoon, Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll be having the Arts Festival.
Yes.
Hazardous Waste Day on Saturday.
Yep.
A lot of things going on.
There are a lot of things.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Do you know what we should have announced? That we're gonna move the groundbreaking ceremony, but it's okay, we can do it on.